I'm Colleen Taylor.
I'm Alexia Tsotsis.
And we're live backstage at TechCrunch's Rep San Francisco. The Battlefield finals are just about to start.
We've got 4 minutes away from a very nerve-wracking experience for these 7 startups. We had 30, all of them, or most of them at least, were super compelling ideas. Some presentations didn't go as well as others. It's really hard. You get on stage and you freak out. I've done it before, and I'm paid to get on stage and not freak out. So these startup founders who've spent their whole lives building these businesses aren't used to the bright lights, aren't used to an audience of also startup founders, wannabe startup founders or entrepreneurs, and then aren't used to like these judges who either are super intimidating because they've spent years in the industry, or like in the case of prior knowledge, have no idea what the big data space is, or find it hard to comprehend what they're doing or what the consumer use case is.
Right. So it's all about, it's not just about the real core technology that's there, but it's also about the pitch, it's about the presentation. There are so many different things that come to play. And in a lot of ways, each one of these 7 companies are so different from each other, and so comparing them can be like apples and oranges, and so whoever the winner is, it's just going to come down to a lot of different factors.
Well, we try really hard when we're culling Battlefield applicants to have a diversity.
Yeah.
So it's not like we've got 2 fashion startups up against each other or something. We've got a fashion startup, and then a big data startup, and then a hardware startup.
Sorry, Greg needs to take this is Greg Bardo. He's taking the cup to clean it.
It
does need a cleaning for
live.
sure.
Live on TechCrunch TV. This is why TechCrunch TV is.
It needs to be cleaned. It has to be shiny to give it to the winner.
You're gonna spit polish it?
A spit polish. Is that Greg? Is a spit polish? Hopefully, like some silver actual cleaner.
So who we've got coming up is we've got Lit Motors. We've got Gift. We've got Expect Labs, which is MindMeld, that application that contextually pulls up.
Yeah. We can go into each one of the MindMeld is the Expect Labs, right?
Okay. That's Expect Labs.
Yes.
All right, they're coming up. Next, Gift.
Yeah. Gift, which is the gift cards.
Lit
Motors is the electric, motorcycle vehicle, the little Tron.
A gyroscope that prevents it from tipping over, even though I haven't seen it do anything other than get carried by 8 dudes.
It does get carried. We haven't actually seen those wheels move, maybe on stage.
I have not seen it move, so I'm
I'd
a little
like to see
skeptical.
Arrington get into it. If like a 6'4" guy can fit in, I think.
We've got Prior Knowledge, which is a predictive data startup.
Yes, this is, and some serious, they've already got 1.4 million. Peter Thiel is an investor into that, so that's some pretty deep tech there, for sure.
I'm hoping they can sell a use case to our hardcore finals judges. I'm particularly interested to see what Roelof Botha and Marissa Mayer have to say.
Absolutely, yeah, because yesterday some of the judges weren't quite, they needed to hear a little bit more. They weren't
what is
sure.
this again?
Yeah, it's, well when you have, how long is it, 6 minutes each pitch, so you've got to get that message across.
I don't think I could sell TechCrunch in 6 minutes. It's a blog, it's a startup that blogs about startups.
It's tough, and then this is
owned
Saya.
by AOL.
Is it Saya?
It's Saya Mobile, and this is a startup from Ghana, and they're like an SMS goop shoop, except they don't use SMS, and they are a messaging system for feature phones out of Africa.
Right.
Trying to penetrate the feature phone market in Africa, get that market in early, and then track them as they move from feature phones or internet-enabled feature phones to smartphones. They monetize through ads, and they basically give their market a way to message each other for free,
right?
Supported by inline advertising.
And our colleague Mike Butcher, the editor of TechCrunch Europe, he went on a trip. He saw
them
present
front lines of Ghana.
In Ghana, and what he said to us is that this is really a CEO to watch. This is really a founding team to watch. He said he could see these guys. These are like the Jack Dorseys of Africa. So no pressure, but definitely a great presentation to watch.
I love that we've gone from Steve Jobs of Africa to Jack Dorsey.
And then next is Your Mechanic. Also, Your Mechanic is they graduated out of Y Combinator earlier this year, and now finalists.
They're an Uber for mechanics, even though they don't, using the word Uber implies a whole different fancy branding thing. They're more like a an exec for mechanics, right?
Yeah.
And they actually have a mechanic on staff, which, I mean, when they came in to pitch, this guy was like straight out of central casting of like mechanic. So, and he seems really legit. It's another case where I could see this being a big business. I could if they pulled it off, I could see it disrupting the traditional like body, or like going to get 7 quotes from a body shop.
Right, which is such a hassle. And then Zumper was another one. Apartment search or apartment.
It's apartment search, but they're trying to get the listings directly from the landlords. Andreessen's invested. I mean, if this gets enough traction, it could be extremely disruptive. So.
And it's funny because this is like the launch of these companies today. These past few days, this has been their official launches, but it's been a long road for these companies to get here. It's been a months-long process of, the vetting process to get on the disrupt stage in the first place. What's that been like?
I mean, you were part of it. We have now a team of 25 full-time writers and I guess 5 freelancers, and everyone gets assigned these companies, and they go through multiple writers. We demo the product, but also interview the founders. Sometimes we get approached by the founder. I know that Gift approached me at a party and gave me a demo of their app, and I really liked that founder's energy. And then Heather Hardy was really involved in the process. We go through, we call them, we break them down to like 30, and then we go through battlefield rehearsals, which is basically them presenting and us giving them feedback on what we think might work on stage, what they need to improve in their presentation, what they actually need to improve in their product.
Right. It's a lot of coaching throughout the process.
It's a lot of coaching. It's like a mini Y Combinator, except not as good and not as long, and I'm not Paul Graham, and neither is Eric Eldon.
But other than all of that,
it's just like Y Combinator.
Have we said how many initial applications we got?
I think we had somewhere around 300.
300 applications.
Somebody correct me if that's wrong, but.
Right, I'm sure we'll hear back.
That's the number I was given. Yeah, I know, Twitter will tell me. But that's the number I was given, and so it's almost like we take 10% of those. We had a lot. We had a record. It could be 600.
And how many disrupts personally have you been on staff here at Tech? Has it been
they all blend into
4 or 5, a lot.
One another. Because I loved this conference back when it was TechCrunch 50, and I've written this many times. I covered it for the LA Weekly and the SF Weekly, even though it was completely off market. I just made up excuses to come here and hang out. But now I get to do that professionally, which I'm psyched about, and it's probably my, counting Beijing, it's my 5th one on staff.
Okay. What do you have any advice? They're probably not watching right now, but any kind of tips for these Disrupt finalists that are going to be pitching to this star-studded panel and huge room full of people?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're nervous. People have no idea what you're presenting. You can get up there and talk about cat videos.
And now it's time to go to the stage.
All right, back to the stage.